Screen eyes.
Okay, so we are live. I'm here with Julia. Thanks for joining. We're just doing sprints today.
Mhm.
Um, let's just share what we are reading, right? Do you want to go first?
Sure. So I am reading it's all glare. There we go. Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel, I think is how you say her last name. And I'm almost done with it. I was going to show you, but it has my library name on there. And I don't want to
Oh,
be like, don't find me. But I have like 2.5 chapters left. So
okay.
I'll
What's it
probably.
about?
It's really interesting. It's like, um, I don't want to call it like baking magic per se because it's not like
Mm-hmm.
like someone who's like purposefully trying to create magic, but like the main character every time she's like making something, however she's feeling when she's making it is kind of like imbued into the food, and then like someone who eats it kind of like feels that same feeling
Oh,
she had. It's very strange, lots
that's
of
so
drama.
interesting.
Yeah, there's like love triangles and family drama and lots going on. So it's interesting.
Huh, that is
Yeah.
interesting. I love how we have zero zero viewers.
Someone will come catch up with us at some point.
Okay, well, if anyone is watching this back, I am reading Beast Player. This is about this girl who finds out that she can communicate with these royal beasts that like protect their queen, but she can also communicate with these serpent kind of creatures that protect like the people of another land. And these two lands are like rivals, and she's like in the middle, like stuck in the middle, kind of because she can communicate with like both of these kind of creatures. Um, so it's very interesting, and um, I'm like this much of the way through, like halfway, almost halfway, and it's interesting because when I read in the synopsis that she could communicate with them, I obviously thought she could like talk to them maybe, or like but that's not what it is. So it's very interesting. I was surprised.
Wait, is it a spoiler to say how she does communicate with them?
I don't know. Do you plan on reading it? I don't mind. Oh, there's one person watching now.
Oh no. What if we spoil for them? I mean,
No, so she
no.
like communicates with them through music, so it's kind of interesting.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so it's like it's very like heartwarming. I really like this book.
It's like is it the Pied Piper who like plays the flute and like the rats follow? Is that what I'm
No,
thinking?
she has like a harp,
Okay.
and basically there's these animals, and they're different when they're in captivity versus when they're in the wild. So in when they're in captivity, they don't know how to communicate with like their counterparts in the wild, right? So there's this like this baby bird who has been captured, and because that bird has been like in the wild, she doesn't know how to communicate suddenly because she's in captivity, because there's no like her mom, like that bird's mom is not there or whatever. So this girl, she basically tries to like replicate that like wild bird song through harp. So it's like it's very sweet.
That's so wholesome.
I know.
I love it.
Okay, so we have one person. Well, is that you? No, right? That's someone
Um,
else.
I
The
don't
one
know.
person.
I did open the tab just in case there were comments,
Okay.
so maybe it's
Okay. Well,
me.
well, if there is anyone else, say hi in the chat so we know.
Whoops. I didn't mean to give us false inflated numbers.
No, okay, so yesterday I hadn't when I first started the live, I hadn't been live in so long that I honestly forgot how to work StreamYard. I was like, Nicole, how do I do this?
It's like it's a learning curve. It's weird.
Hmm. It's fine though. We can just do reading sprints, stay accountable, just the two of us.
Yeah. People will join in because sometimes that happens to me where I don't know that people are doing read sprints, but
Hmm.
I open YouTube and I'm like, oh look, I just like pop in even though I wasn't planning on it. So
Hmm. Here.
it works.
Let's
And
like I'll just retweet that one more time so people
yes,
see it, and then we can just start a sprint.
yeah. I love how like you have your like beautiful books and your like trailing vines behind you, and I'm like, enjoy the view of my blinds. I just wanted to sit on my couch because it's comfy.
Oh, I'm just in my room.
For other live shows, I've been literally sitting on the floor because like this corner that I'm facing is so
Mhm,
pretty that I just want
mhm,
everyone else to see the pretty behind
mhm,
me. But then like my laptop charger can't reach my
mhm,
computer and like there's not a table. So yeah,
mhm.
this is for
So
convenience.
right now, my laptop, it's like propped up on my bed. I don't like sitting on my bed when I'm doing live shows because then I'm just like slouched like this.
Yeah.
And it's just like not very comfortable for
Mhm.
me.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
so, and I have like nowhere else to put my laptop and it's just all like such a mess. So right now I just have my like spinny chair that I'm sitting in right now.
Nice. I love it. Oh, we do
Okay, so
have
let's
someone.
yeah, welcome.
Yay.
Okay, let me open that clock tab I used yesterday again.
I promise I won't be scared no matter what kind of chime it has. I will not jump.
I'll turn it off. For the longest time, I thought I was the only one who heard it because like I was on mute,
Mhm.
but then I realized that I have to put that tab on mute as well.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I would have thought the same thing. But
Okay,
it
so let
happens,
me
like, no matter what the, like, kind of end of spin is. Like, I watch ones
mhm.
where people will be like, "Okay, stop reading." And I'm like, "Oh, it's the person on the computer. Okay, we're fine." It's
Oh, we
just
have like 3 people now. Hello.
oh my god.
Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Amazing.
Okay, so we are just about to share or start a sprint. Feel free to share what you're reading in the comments.
Yeah,
We'll go for 30 minutes. Does that sound good?
perfect.
Okay. Share. Okay, so how did you do?
Great. I just started the very last chapter of my book and I almost cried. So this will be very eventful. If anyone does like watch this back later, because there's one point where I gasped and went, and then by the end I was in tears, basically. So already an emotional roller coaster on my end.
Okay. Well, I got about like 30-ish, a little less than 30, like 25 pages through, and it's getting interesting. This book is interesting because it's not like not a lot of things are happening really fast, but
Mhm.
like it's like pretty steady and slow, not like a fast plot really. So it's interesting.
I appreciate that though. I like kind of
Hmm.
a meandering sort of book that takes its time, you
Hmm.
know?
You, you know, when the first times I did reading sprints, I
Hmm.
couldn't I couldn't really like read because it felt like someone was watching me.
It's weird, isn't it?
I know I'd make it like maybe like 5 pages in, and then I'd just like stare at the book until the time was up.
Yeah, I
Okay.
fidget a lot, but I
Yeah.
can still
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
focus on the book, which
Yeah.
is good.
Hmm.
Let's see what everyone else is reading. Ooh, Sorrowland. I'm curious how you're liking Sorrowland because I've heard very good things about it. I don't know if I know the Firekeeper though. Have you heard of that one?
No, I have not
I'm
heard
looking
of that
it
one.
up.
I haven't heard of that author either.
Mm. Oh, it's one of the Rick Riordan imprint, like one of the Rick Riordan Presents ones. I haven't
Oh,
heard of
that's
this one though.
interesting. Yeah, me neither.
Cool. It's like Mayan mythology. Ooh. Um, and Sarah's reading passing. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any
I know
comments
I'm
here.
like
Yeah.
scrolling down with my eyes, like, yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, it's interesting. I saw like I looked up in the middle and I saw there were like 8 people. So that's quite a lot because when we started it was just like just us.
It was a party too.
Yeah. So welcome everyone
Yeah.
else.
Sarah, since she said she's reading Passing, I'm curious if anyone watched the trailer for the movie version that
I
just
have
came
not
out.
heard I have not heard of passing. What's it about?
It is, I haven't even read it, but I
Oh,
feel like I need to read it immediately. So it's a classic. I do own it. But
hmm.
it's about I think it's about two Black women, but one chooses to pass as a white woman. And so she like marries a white man, and her friend is like, why are you living your life like this? And um, yeah, the trailer, I think it's actually going to be a Netflix movie, but the trailer was like all in black and white. So I don't know if the whole movie's going to be in black and white, but it looked stunning. It has
Oh, that's
a great
interesting.
cast.
Is it like it's not modern day, right? Like if it's a classic,
No, I
it's like
think it's like the
okay.
20s or 30s, maybe,
Oh, oh,
but it looks really good.
yeah. Six Crimson Cranes. Have you read that one?
Mhm. I That's on my TBR. I really want to read that.
Yeah,
But
I've seen it around and I've heard good things.
yeah, definitely. And the cover is so pretty.
Hmm. I know I see it every time I go to the bookstore and it's so pretty.
I know. It's like kind of calling, like, oh, look at it over there. I just want to have it. We've got like
Okay.
a good mix of different genres going on
Hmm.
here.
What genre does yours classify as? Is it literary fiction?
I think I would say it's probably magical realism, honestly,
Okay.
because there's definitely some things that make me go, that's either that's not literal what you're telling me, or there's magic in this world because,
Okay.
there's like spontaneous fires and like you
Oh,
know, people like succumbing to like emotions out of the blue. And I'm like, this is either like a metaphor or there's magic, you know?
hmm,
One of
okay.
those.
Ace of Spades.
Everyone says Ace of Spades is amazing.
Yes.
I still haven't read it.
I still haven't read it either, but I've also heard good things about that one.
Yeah. I'm bad at new releases.
I always just like because I get the majority of my books from the library, so it
Mhm.
takes a while for like new releases to end up at my library.
Yeah.
So usually like I read them like a year or two later.
I know it's funny. Like sometimes I'll like be like listening to an audiobook or like get something through the library. I'm like, ooh, this is so fun. I'm reading a new release. And then I'm like, oh, this came out last year. Oh, like, I thought this was new. It's not as new as I thought.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. And
Hmm.
Ace of Spades is good. Story checks out. I love it. Oh wait, I need help since we're in the chat talking about stuff. I only
Mhm.
have one just about a chapter of this left.
Mhm.
So, since our next sprint will probably be another 30 minutes, I need help deciding what to continue reading next because I'm currently in the middle of too many books. So, I'll put it out there for you and everyone in the chat to help me pick. And all of these could fulfill like at least one prompt for Persephone's
Okay.
farewell. So, I have
Oh, my book
Voyage.
barely counts for any prompts.
But it's your readathon, so you can do whatever you want. Your rules, your readathon, your
Hey,
rules.
one of the rules was to just ignore the prompts and read whatever you want.
Exactly.
That one was specifically for myself.
And see, I'm stretching it for some of these, but I'll tell you. So I have The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which is one of the
Ooh.
Narnia books. And this honestly could fulfill like three of the prompts, but
Mhm.
I'm also buddy reading it. So I don't want to get like too
Okay.
far ahead, but it is a nice, fun read. I have a nonfiction option, which is about Joan of Arc.
Oh, I saw
And
someone did a video about Joan of Arc and then like that one Joan of Arc poetry book. Who
yes,
was that?
yes. Yeah, Kara just did that video.
Yes, I watched that. It was interesting.
Yeah, and she said great things about this, and she
Yeah.
actually read it for the like little book club I'm reading this for. She
Mhm.
beat me to it, and it's the book club that I co-host. So she's amazing. But so I'm excited to continue this because I've only read like one chapter. Or I've been like a third of the way into the third Game of Thrones book for like months now. So I like definitely could use some motivation to continue this as well.
I couldn't make it through like the first 100 pages of the first Game of Thrones books.
They're good. Like there's things that I enjoy about them, especially in
Mhm.
certain points of view. Points of view, right? I'm like, how do you
Mhm.
pluralize that? Um, but it's like I feel like if I don't finish books, I feel like unsuccessful. And so when I'm reading a
Oh.
long book, I have to like read short things and then I get distracted and it takes me even longer to finish the long book. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Well, we have two votes here for Joan of Arc.
ooh, okay. Well, maybe
Hmm.
that's the one then.
Yeah, I would also say Joan of Arc.
I'll
I
take
was always really interested. So we learned about Joan of Arc in history, right? And like back in middle school.
it.
And I was
Mhm.
very interested in like the whole story. So I did some research for myself as well. So when that poetry book came out, like a couple years ago, I think I read it and I was like, hmm, like I liked it from like a poetry point of view, but
Mhm.
from like a historical like Joan of Arc, um, like that was like a bit questionable.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I love historical fiction, but I do feel like that sometimes if there's like a
Mhm,
person or like an event that I feel like really strongly about and I know a lot about,
mhm.
when I read something fictionalized, I'm like, well, maybe you could have said that a little differently, but okay. But yeah, this should be good. It's
Okay.
It's interesting. All right. So that'll be up next. Thank you.
No. Yep. Okay, let's start another sprint for
Yay.
30. Okay.
How'd you do?
I did well. Maybe like another 25 pages-ish. Did you start on Joan of Arc?
I did. I just read like 5 pages of it, but I did finish Like Water for Chocolate.
How
And what an ending it was. It was a very bizarre last chapter. So I think overall I'm giving it 3.5 stars. There were things that I liked and things that I will never forget, and not in a good way. But
Ooh, 40 pages. That's nice.
wow. That's impressive. Anyone who reads more than a page a minute, I'm like,
Mhm.
how do you do it?
Oh, we have 12 people now.
Oh
Welcome.
my goodness. It's a whole party.
Yep. Let us know what you're reading.
Yeah.
So I like in the middle of this book, so mostly it just follows one point of view, but every
Mhm.
once in a while there are chapters from someone else's point of view.
Oh.
Um, and I'm just like not interested in that other point of view that like comes up. And I was like, every time it's only happened twice so far, but every time it starts, I'm like,
That's annoying. I had a book that was like from multiple points of view. I think there were like 4 or 5, but the main character was my least favorite one to read from. So I remember doing the same thing where like I would read everyone else's chapters. I'd be like, okay. And then I'd get to that one point of view and I'd go, oh, I don't care. Sarah, you read 0 pages? What were you doing? Not in a judgy way. I'm just curious what you did for a half an hour instead of reading. And oh, Final Girls.
Final Girls. Hi, Emma.
I've heard mixed
Have not,
things about Final Girls.
is that, hold on, who's the author for that?
Um, yeah, I know, but it's escaping me. um, oh my gosh, Riley Sager, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
And you need to share this secret speed reading technique with us.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. What is the secret
Yeah.
technique? I want that. That's amazing. Yeah, because I can read like I can listen to audiobooks faster and
Mm-hmm.
then like, anything that's like poetry or has wide margins, I'm like, okay, we're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I'm a pretty slow
Mm-hmm.
reader.
Oh, so someone's reading Air of Fire. Is
Ooh.
that, oh, where is that which series is that part of?
That must be one of
Is it Throne
the
of Glass?
yeah, one of the Throne of Glass
Okay.
books, but I have no idea which one.
Okay, so if you read the top part of the words instead of the words as a whole, you read much faster. The brain can still process the words even though you're reading the full picture. That's interesting.
Wait, like the top part, like the front of the word, or the top part, like literally the top half? I don't even know if I can do this. I'm gonna try it though in our next sprint.
Okay, you also retain the info you're reading, so you can still enjoy the books that you read.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
so the top, like
Literally,
the top half.
what?
That's
Oh my
interesting.
gosh. Really?
Okay,
This
you
is
know what
so
that reminds me of?
what?
So when I was little, I used to get these like kids magazines with like fun little puzzles. And then it used to have this like word that's like super stretched out and it only used to have like half of it. And you're
Uh-huh.
supposed to like figure out what word it was and then you turned it upside down to see the answer.
Now every book is a puzzle because yeah. Cool.
Okay, so I don't know if I can do that. Let me try reading the top.
I know. I like want to test it out too.
The whole word just like comes to me. Like I
I
can't
know.
just look at the top half.
How do you mentally separate it? Like, do you have to like use a bookmark? Like, when you like go down the page like that with a bookmark? I don't know.
I feel like that would make me slower. Huh.
which is
Sometimes if
crazy.
it's okay. Oh,
Interesting.
it's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
do you want to do another sprint?
Yeah, I'm down for another.
Okay.
I'm scrolling back up for a second because I saw Catherine agreed about Game of Thrones, saying that there were only certain characters that she enjoyed. Me too. Although I'm really, really happy because in the third book there is no Theon point of view, and I hated reading from his point of view, and now he's not like a point of view character in this book, and I was just like, yeah, love it. He's gone.
I've only watched the show, so I don't know like how I don't know if that's I don't think it's accurate at all. So I
Kinda. I mean, this you'd be surprised. Like the third book is still events that were happening in like season two, season three of the show. Like
oh.
the show followed it like a lot more slowly than you would think. I don't know, or quickly.
Hmm.
I don't know how to make that make sense out loud. But yeah, it was interesting. I guess because they were like adapting everything so quickly that that's why it like started to get further and further true
Hmm.
to what was in the books because they like ran out of material from the books and they were like,
And then they
okay,
made up their own ending.
yeah, we're coming up with stuff now because the series isn't over, but the show's going to be. But I think most of like the character, like the personalities and their motivations and stuff, that's pretty
Hmm.
accurate from book to show. So
Have you read the Stormlight Archive at all?
no, I haven't.
No? Okay. So I'm on book 3 of that at the moment, and all the books are like 1,000 pages. And and I'm listening to the audiobook. So you know how Libby, I don't know if you were on the live, like if you were watching yesterday when I talked about it, but um so Libby, if you have a book on hold, sometimes you can check it out for 7 days for like a speed something like hold. I don't know if
Hmm.
you've ever had that.
No, I
Um,
use Libby, but I've never had that.
Really, I think it's because when people like turn in their books early and someone else has it on hold, but like it's not time for them to get it yet, I think they just like give it out for like 7 days to people.
That makes sense.
So so two of these like 1,000 page books I got to check out for 7 days.
No.
And I hustled hard. I like listened to them at like 3 times speed and like I finished the second book, which is Words of Radiance, in like 5 days, and it was like 54 hours of audiobook.
Oh my gosh.
And right now I'm doing the same with Oathbringer, which is the third book. So I'm like 20% in right now, and I have like 5 more days to finish it, and it's also like 54 hours.
That is wild. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that. I remember I listened to, I don't know, it was like a historical fiction book. It wasn't a fantasy, but it was like a big chunky book like that. And the
Mhm.
audiobook was like maybe 30 something, 38 hours or whatever. It took me like half a month to listen to that. And here you are like, well, a few days later I got it done. Amazing.
It's because like I mostly listen to it like while I commute to work, and I
Mm.
have to drive an hour there and drive an hour back.
Um,
So if I listen to like at 3 times the speed, I like in 1 hour I get 3 hours. So in one day I get
yeah,
6 hours.
that's amazing though. That's effective.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like those books are definitely harder to read when you have like other books alongside,
Mhm.
especially if you're reading like physical books. I find it easier to balance that if like some are audiobook versus like some are physical books.
Agree.
Okay, so let's start another 30 minutes. did we do?
Good. I mean, this reads a lot slower than my other book because it's nonfiction, but I still read 25 pages, so I'm very happy with that.
I'm almost done with this book. I have like 100 pages left.
Ooh.
So if I finish this tonight, I'm going to be very happy.
Yeah.
How did everyone else do?
Mm-hmm. Tell us how your books are going. It really is like so fun to me that I think between us and everyone in the chat, it's like so many different genres tonight with like fantasy and thrillers and nonfiction and classics and fantasy and everything.
Oh, 4 a.m. and you're still up?
What? Woo!
Hey, well, good night.
Thank you for joining. Oh my gosh.
4 pages, 10 pages, that's still good.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I find it hard to read while I'm eating because I'm just like too focused on the eating.
Yeah. I used to do it all the time when I was younger, like in high school and stuff. I'd always have like a book in my hand while I was eating. And now I think I'm like, my brain has been rotting with like technology. And so I like watch YouTube while I eat instead of reading books.
I can sometimes listen to audiobooks maybe, but then like I can hear myself chewing and I just like can't focus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What time is it for you? Is it like 10 now?
Yeah, it just turned 10.
Yeah.
So
How much longer do you want to do sprints for?
I could probably do one more for sure. I feel
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I wish like physically I didn't feel so tired and could keep reading because I'm having fun. But the more sleepy I get, the slower I read. And then I'm
Oh
like, I'm
yeah.
just wasting my
And then
time.
sometimes I just like read the same sentence over and over
Yes.
again. It just like does not register.
Yeah, I definitely did that
Yeah.
with one paragraph in this last sprint. And I was like, nope, snap out of it. We got to keep going.
Okay, so let's do one more sprint. Depending on like how many people are here, I might keep them going like after you leave, but um hey, it's like 7 for me, so it's not
Yeah,
too bad.
the night is young for you.
Okay. I'm not sure if anyone else is about to comment. Don't want to like miss it.
Let's just keep an eye open.
Okay. I'll start the timer again.
Perfect. I'm hopeful I can at least finish the chapter that I'm on.
Okay. So how was that one?
We're back. It was good. I did finish my chapter as I wanted to. So, how many pages was that? It was only like 10 pages this time.
Okay.
It was going slow.
Nonfiction is hard to get through.
Yeah. This isn't like too bad because they kind of break it up between like actual like translated quotations from her trial. And then it's like the author kind of like interpreting and talking about it. And then it goes back to quotes. So it like kind of switches, which helps. But I mean, it's still
Hmm.
nonfiction.
Okay.
How'd you
Well, I'm
do?
like almost done.
Yeah.
That much left. Um,
Yay.
yeah, it's getting interesting. I like this book because it's not like I mentioned before, it's not like a lot of things happening really fast, but it's just like a steady plot, and
Hmm.
it's refreshing. And it's also very like heartwarming. Like the main character, she's just very like, I don't know, she's just very sweet. Like I love her.
Aw. The more you talk about it, the more I'm like, I think I'll need to read this book.
Mhm. It took me a while to be interested in it because like the first 50 or 70 pages or so, I was like, hmm. But after a while, I like, okay.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm trying to catch up to the comments.
I know. I was just looking over there too.
Yeah,
Like, what have people
yeah.
been
I
saying?
honestly love when people who aren't reading but like doing other things just like pop in.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing.
I've had a lot of like reading sprints where I worked on like my bullet journal or different things. I'm like, I'll be
Hmm.
here, but I'm doing something else.
I know, it's always nice. Okay. I think this might have been a question for Sarah, but what are you reading in October?
Yeah. Well, Sarah, if you're still here, let us know. For
Hmm.
me, hold on, let me pull up my Google Sheets TBR. I'm like compulsively organized. Oh, I've got a lot of fun stuff planned. Okay, I'm like remembering now. I want to read We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which
Oh,
was recommended to me by a friend. So I'm going to try that. Um, I'm going to read whatever Narnia book comes after this one. I don't know what's next in the series. I've never read the ones that don't have
really?
movies, you
I
know?
lo- I I used to love the Narnia series when I was little. Maybe I should give them a reread. Is
Yeah,
what number is that book? Four?
this is the third one.
Third one. Oh, I think the
But
fourth might be like The Horse and His Boy.
maybe, yeah.
It's the
I
most
know.
boring one, I'm just telling you
Oh
now.
no. I know that like some people, it's one of those series where it's like Star Wars. Like you can either read it in the order that they came out or you can read it in chronological order. And I think
I
we're
think
doing
chronological order is really interesting for Narnia because it all kind of like wraps up together in the end.
so I've been
But
told, but I don't
yeah, yeah.
know.
But my favorite Narnia book is the Silver Chair, which is number six, I think.
Ooh, I wonder I'm buddy reading them with a friend, and I wonder if that's the one she said was her favorite too,
Hmm,
actually. I'm more excited for it.
okay.
And I'm gonna read um Ace, which is like a nonfiction book all about asexuality because
Oh,
I have
that's
another friend
interesting.
who's hosting a readathon about asexuality and like
Oh,
reading
that's
books with
interesting.
asexual characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's some of mine. What are
Okay.
you gonna read in October?
Um, I'm not sure if I'll read them like in October, um, but like some of these I might just read next week and finish like late September, but like these are the books that are like next. I
Yeah.
don't really like do TBRs anymore because I just like don't stick to them.
I'm like
So
the worst. I make a long list and then I read like five of them and I'm like, well, yeah.
no, like even if I do make a short list, like I just don't stick to them because sometimes like my library doesn't have it or Libby doesn't have it, and I
Yeah.
like I just like don't go out and buy books. I know like people do that, but I just like don't. So it's just like it just depends on a lot of
Yeah.
things. But
Yeah.
this is on my list. It's called, oh, I might just say this wrong, but it's Lampedusa by Stephen Price.
That's a
Um
cool cover.
yeah, it's about this. Takes place in the 1950s in Sicily, and the last prince of Lampedusa struggles to complete a novel that he's been working on like forever.
Ooh,
So I think it's literary fiction. Sounds interesting.
it does. I'm looking at
And
Goodreads.
it's spelled Lampedusa.
Thank you. I was about to struggle with that.
Yeah. And then I'm starting the series where I read other booktubers' favorite books.
Ooh.
Like lots of people have done this. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. So the
Mm.
first booktuber I'm doing is Connor, and he gave me his list of books. So for that, I'm reading Rebecca,
Yes.
um, Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, and The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. So I
Ooh.
might get to them next week or in
Wow.
October. We don't know.
That's such an interesting mix of books. Like, I really like Rebecca, and I really did not like The Bell Jar. But I can see like why people love it and like why it's a classic. But for
Mhm.
me, I was like, I don't think this is the right fit. But I've never read Giovanni's Room. That one I do
Yeah.
really want to read.
Yeah.
I've heard great things.
On my radar. Love that. I just like,
Ooh. I'm gonna probably steal
yeah,
that. That's really accurate. Because like if
yeah.
I am planning on reading it, like okay, it's my TBR. But if it's like books that I'm adding on Goodreads,
Mhm.
it's on my
Yeah.
radar.
Yeah. Two books that have been on my radar for a long
Mm.
time. It's called Beyond the Black Door and The Orphanage of Gods. Like both of those books sound really interesting. I'm gonna plan on picking them up soon.
Wait. Hold on. I'm like having an out of body experience right now because I think it is. Okay, yes. So Beyond the Black Door. So my same friend Dana, who's hosting the asexual
Mhm.
marathon, she has to read now because I think the main character is like maybe ace or demisexual or something, or maybe a
Oh,
side
that's
character.
super
I don't know.
interesting.
But yeah, they're already reading that. So I'm supposed to be reading it too. Ooh, wait, is it? They do 2 months. So
Okay.
I should probably find out when their live show is. Hopefully it's in October and I still have time. But it does sound very good. Oh, I gotta figure that out
Okay.
later.
Okay. This was your last sprint, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's getting
I think
close
I
to
might
11.
also like wrap it up. Like I haven't had dinner yet. Like my stomach's gonna start growling.
I've been like thinking
Yeah.
this whole time because I have a candle over here that has like a wood wick. And so I
Mhm.
keep hearing it. I'm like, can they all hear it? I'm like, no, you can't hear it. It must be like too far from the camera, but
Mhm. I love woodwick candles.
they're so
Like
nice.
I know. Oh, which is kind of makes me sad because now there's 11 people. So sorry,
Um,
sorry to end this.
or thank you all for joining
Yes.
us.
Yes. Yes, that's more
I'm
positive.
glad to have you, even
Yes.
if it didn't go super duper long.
Yeah.
Almost 3 hours. That's not bad.
Almost 3 hours. Yeah, that's not bad. I actually read like all of this I read in sprints, like sprints yesterday and sprints today. So
Yeah,
that's amazing. I don't
you've
think I've
been
ever read
crushing
that much in a sprint before. So
it. Yay.
super exciting. Yeah. I do plan on having more sprints tomorrow. It might be like earlier in the day because I do have work on Monday, so
Mm.
maybe like if you want to join again, that'd be great. But like if not, I understand.
I'll be going to the Renaissance Festival
Oh,
tomorrow,
that's so exciting.
which I was just at last week, but I have a different friend who
Yeah, I
wants to
saw
go.
that. Okay. How is that like is it just there for a certain amount of time?
Yeah, so I know different states have them, so I don't know how it works everywhere, but in
Hmm.
Michigan, our Renaissance Festival goes from like sometime in August through early October, and it's just like a fixed place, but they just like fill it up and open it up every
Oh, it's
season
kind of
and it
exciting.
comes
It's like
back
the
around.
night circus just popping up.
Yeah, literally. All of a sudden it's like, okay, it's here.
Yeah.
So,
When I used to live in California, they also had a Renaissance fair sometime around like August, September. I went when I was in high school, just like an awkward little bean. Just like this. I wish that I like had the chance to do go now because I definitely would be like a lot more comfortable like going around and like seeing a lot more things. But
Yeah.
I just remember I was so shy, like I barely even like looked through the stalls because people
Hmm.
talking to me was just like, don't talk to me.
Don't don't acknowledge me. Yeah, this is the first year I finally not had the courage, but I guess like had the commitment to like actually
Hmm.
dress up. Like
Hmm.
usually I'm just like
Yeah.
a little bit bohemian and I was like, no, I'm
Hmm.
buying a costume. So
That's so exciting.
making the most of it.
Maybe even I don't think they have them here because I'm in Canada. I don't think they.
Mhm. Come on, Canadians. You guys know what the Renaissance was. It existed.
It's so like it's cold though now, like because
Yeah.
at this time in California it was like warm, but now it's just like raining and cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Here it can vary. Like there's been times I've gone and I'm like in jeans and a short sleeve shirt. And there's
Hmm.
been times when I've been like, I'm freezing and I don't want to be here. So it can depend.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope the sprints go
Okay.
well
Well,
tomorrow though. That'll be
thank
fun.
you. Have fun at the is it festival or fair?
Yeah, I've called it both. I don't know what
Okay.
the official name is.
Okay, well, have fun. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
and doing sprints,
Yeah.
and thanks for everyone who also did sprints or did whatever you guys were doing while we were reading. But yeah, join again tomorrow if you can. But thanks for being here today. Okay, I'm gonna end now. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.